Welcome back, guys, to Steven's DIY.
All right, guys, and we are back, guys. We are here in a 2016 Dodge Charger, and we're just going to go over a few things real quick. So apparently the vehicle has been sitting for quite a while without being run. The battery was completely dead, so we put it on a battery tester, tested it. It needed to be recharged. We recharged it and we tested it. Battery health, everything was good with the battery when we put it in. We were getting some hesitations with it starting, and one thing I noticed was the hesitation to start, and then sometimes when you go to start it, the car would just completely go dead. No lights, no nothing. It would just be completely dead. And then sometimes if you wiggled the car a little bit, slammed the hood or slammed the door, the lights would kick back on, and like if the car came back to life. So we knew we had some kind of electrical problem. What we did was, we didn't notice it at first, but we went to take the battery off. That's where we found our problem. So a lot of times these routine repairs is not always routine. You need to really look when you're diving into something, and that's a lesson that I learned on this one. So we're going to go ahead and take you back and show you what we found. So we're here in the trunk of the vehicle where our battery is. This is where the battery is in the charger. We have the positive and the negative disconnected. What had happened was, when we came back to check our terminals and to check that we had it tight and we were good, when I wiggled the negative, I saw the light up here flickering. Upon further inspection, let's see if we can move this out of the way. The ground cable that's anchored to the chassis, see how loose it is? Let's see if I can show you. Anyway, it's super loose and the bolt has come off, and that allowed our wire here to touch it and to actually melt. Hopefully that comes into focus there. It actually allowed our wire to melt that connects to our negative terminal cable here, to our negative cable. So luckily it didn't cause any more damage than what you see here. So we're going to go ahead and have to repair that wire and get that bolt back in there, and we're going to put a protective loom on that, so and make sure maybe to zip tie that out of the way so that doesn't happen again. Okay guys, so we have our battery tester connected. This is our Altel BT806. And we're going to go ahead and test the battery. So we're going to test auto vehicle. Set. It's 12 volt, it's flooded, and it's 850 cranking amps. So we're going to go next. And then it wants to take a picture of the barcode, or you can enter it manually. Just go ahead and take a picture. So we're going to go ahead and scan the barcode. There we go. And hit OK. Start testing. So our state of health is 100%. State of charge is 93%. Voltage is 12.55 volts. Your cold cranking amps, temperature, and your device mode. So then we can hit report. And then if we want to, we can go ahead and point this, and then it will turn on. So a nifty little tool. Really love this tool. So we went ahead and I've already done this, but I did it again just so I could show you we do have a good battery. So now we're going to go ahead and take care of our wiring problem and get this car back on the road. So we'll be right back. Okay guys, so we got it repaired. Ran into a problem, but in the end we had some good news. I apologize I didn't bring you guys along for it. I was in a hurry to get it fixed, and so basically the actual stud that originally, I don't know if you're going to be able to see it. Let me see if I can. I don't think you guys will be able to see it. Okay. So hopefully you guys can see underneath is our original stud that our ground wire was attached to our chassis with. And when we went to remove the nut off the stud so that we can clean it up, get all the burnt, melted wire off, as well as clean it up so we can have a good connection, it ended up snapping on us. The stud sheared off pretty close to the chassis, and we ran into an issue. We attempted to remove it, but we were unsuccessful. And then we just ended up getting a self-tapping screw. We ended up punching, getting a hole punch or a punch, creating a little divot, and we hammered in a self-tapping screw, as you can see right there, to hold our new ground wire in place. Worked out quite nicely. We ended up using this self-drilling sheet metal screw, 1/4 inch, 1 inch hex washer head. Worked out really great. Couple, I think it was like $1 or something at your local Home Depot. Not a sponsor. That's how we were able to fix that issue. Our second issue, which actually wasn't too big of an issue, was our wiring harness. So it's right here. What we did was the wires were not actually damaged. They looked bad, but they were not actually damaged. The plastic or covering the wire melted, but the actual wires themselves were good to go. Also, because it sheared off the wire covering close to the connector, we didn't want to try to snip it and splice in new wire, which you could have done if you really wanted to. But what we did, because our wiring was still good, we just used some black electrical tape and taped up each individual wire, and then we went back through and taped up the two wires together, and we ensured that they're underneath the carpet out of the way, so we don't have that issue again. Couple ways you could have done it. You could have got some heat shrink and used that in place of electrical tape, but in our case, that's what we had. That's what we needed to work. That's what we used. That's what we had to work with. But you can snip it, splice in a new wire. I don't see that necessary, as the wires were not damaged. They were just the coating on them were melted, so the insulation was melted. So we put in a new insulation, which was the electrical tape. Again, you could have used some heat shrink on it, some insulation on that, and taped it up as well.
So, but that's how we did it, guys. So again, sorry, I apologize for not showing you step by step how to do that. Again, we were in a hurry. We needed to get the vehicle done. So that is what we used to solve our electrical problem. So hopefully that makes sense, guys. Also, guys, if you're in a pinch and something happens where your ground wire over here breaks, or your fastener breaks like mine did, where it mounts your negative battery cable to the chassis, worst case scenario, temporary fix, you could probably stretch this negative cable over here to this other negative ground, or to this ground, I should say. It might reach. I didn't attempt to try that. I wanted to fix it like this, but in a pinch, if it will reach, I don't see why you couldn't at least temporarily put it on that ground, on that chassis ground, to get you to where you need to go, or until you can get it fixed. So that's just another option. All right, guys, and there you have it. There is our fix for our issue we were having. So hopefully that makes sense. To give you guys just a quick recap of what transpired. The vehicle has been setting for a while. We knew we were going to have a dead battery issue. We attempted to start the vehicle. It attempted to start, but it just didn't start. We checked the battery voltage. We were really low, so we spent some time charging it. After it charged for a sufficient amount of time, we attempted it again. We got the car to start on and off. Sometimes it would start, sometimes it would hesitate, sometimes it would start right up. And then we noticed that sometimes when we would start the vehicle, or when we would close the door or close the hood, the lights, everything in the car would just go completely dark. That indicated to me that there was a major electrical issue going on. So we tested the battery, as you guys, we tested the battery. I tested it again to show you guys the testing process. The battery was charged, was healthy. The battery passed. Well, upon visual inspection of our battery terminals and our post, we saw that when we wiggled the negative cable, that's when the lights would turn off and on, or flicker on and off. And then further inspection showed that our ground wire that was grounded to our chassis, the bolt had somehow made its way off, almost completely off. And then we saw that one of our wires that is attached to our negative cable had got in there in between the chassis and that bolt and melted. So we ended up attempting to fix the wire, but before that we attempted to take off the mounting, the negative battery cable mount, and clean it up to have a good connection, but it ended up snapping on us. So now we had to replace that. We used that sheet metal screw, self-tapping sheet metal screw. That worked out phenomenal. A lot easier than trying to remove the old stud and put in a new one. And then we also, because the wires were still good, it only melted the insulation. We used some electrical tape on each individual wire, then taped them up together. That's one way of doing it. Or you could have used heat shrink, which is probably the nicer way to do it, and that would have also worked as well. A more aggressive approach, I guess you could say, would be you could have snipped the wires and spliced in a whole new wire if you were that concerned. However, the wires were not damaged, and because it was so close to the electrical connector, I just didn't think that was the right call to make. So that's the way we did it, guys. So anyway, there you have it, guys. A little issue that arose, and some solutions that you guys may or may not know about. But that's how we fixed our issue. So anyway, guys, as always, if you like this video, make sure to go down there and hit that like button. Also, a lot of my views are coming from non-subscribers. So if you haven't already, please go down there and hit that subscribe button. I would greatly appreciate it, as well as it's going to help out the channel grow.
So there you have it, guys. If you like this video, make sure to hit that like button. If you guys would like to be notified when I put out another video, make sure to hit that bell notification. And as always, guys, please subscribe to my channel for more informational videos and DIY projects. And until next time, guys, have a good one.